We're just doing a little walk around the yard, checking on our beehives. This is the bee line, and we went into the hive a couple of days ago when it was really warm, and they had quite a bit of honey stores left. It looked really good, but the number of bees was pretty small, so not really sure if these girls are going to make it or not. It's a very small colony right now, but they did have still had honey stores, so they're not going to starve to death. This is the bee-free hive, and these girls have been pretty active, although they're not coming and going right now. It's getting a little bit late in the day, but they have been very active these warm days. When we went into this hive a few days ago, they did not have a lot of honey stores, and so we had another colony that had died out, and so we put 2 frames of honey that were left in that colony in with these girls. So hopefully that's going to boost them up enough so that they'll make it through the rest of the winter. They are bringing in pollen. We do have daffodils blooming. The henbit is blooming in our yard. We have a few dandelions blooming already. So I'm not sure where they're getting pollen, but they are bringing in some pollen now. And this is the sunset hive, and these girls are our rock stars. They started out last summer a really small colony. In fact, we left them in the swarm trap most of the summer. But over the fall, they boosted up their numbers really well. And this winter, they seem to be doing really well. When we checked their honey stores a few days ago, they were a little bit low. They still had quite a bit of honey, but we had some frames from a colony that had died out. And so we went ahead and put an extra frame of honey in with these girls. But today it's been almost 70 degrees, and they have been flying like crazy and bringing in pollen like there's no tomorrow. So like I said, these are our rock star girls, the sunset hive. This is our big beehive, and unfortunately this is the colony that didn't make it. We checked on them a couple of days ago, and it looks like to us that they just got too cold and couldn't survive. There was a lot of honey stored still in the hive. They had probably 6 frames of honey that were all capped. There was a little cluster of bees, maybe about the size of a softball, on one of the frames that were all dead. There were dead bees in the bottom of the hive, so something had happened and they just didn't make it. So like I said, we don't believe they starved to death because there was a lot of honey in here. In fact, we took the 2 of the frames of honey out of this colony and put them into our 2 other weaker colonies that were a little bit light on honey stores. And the rest of those honey frames we've put in the freezer in case there are any kind of pest inside there. It'll kill off any hive beetles or varroa mites that might be hanging around in there. And if we need to feed any of our other colonies honey later on, we'll have those frames that we can just pull out of the freezer and thaw out and put in another colony. The other thing that we're planning on doing here shortly is taking this 20 frame hive and add a 3rd entrance in the box right here in the middle. And what that will enable us to do is if we catch another swarm this year coming up and put them in this box, if they get big enough to do a split, we would be able to actually do a split straight inside this hive box by closing off that center entrance, moving part of the colony to the right and the other part to the left. We won't even have to worry about where the queen is because we'll know that she's in there one side or the other. And we should be able to make a split very easily with the box in that kind of configuration. So that's our plan going forward with the big beehive.